service. The reason why I couldn't post any videos lately is because our Wi-Fi went out. And since my Ethernet cable goes to the modem, and when that goes off, this goes off. So unfortunately I wasn't able to make any more videos, but I'm making up to you right now. Oh, and if any single ladies in there, I've joined OK Cupid. But you know. But at any rate, let's dive right back in. And in our previous video, which was I think 2 or 3 days ago, we were using our advanced medical treatments to heal the town of Whitechapel. I think we got everybody, except for 2 people I don't think we've met yet. So I'm actually gonna go meet them now. And then we'll be making our way to the docks so we can heal the people there. The more people we heal, the better we feel. That's a rhyme, don't quote me on that. And at any rate, let's dive right back in as soon as this loading thing gets done. Bruh. I like the blue effect on my face, especially in darkness when it lights up. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it into work today due to the fact that I had a really crippling headache. The crippling kind that impairs your movement just a tad. So I was extremely busy the entire time. It was not fun. But I think there's only one more person. Nope, wrong one. Got everybody there. Oh, 2 more people. Somebody's in a social circle with Loretta Swansboro. Somebody's by themselves. Yeah, I think we got everybody. They're recovering. Now we just gotta go find these last 2. I'm actually gonna make this a 2-hour video in order to make up for the lack of content for the past couple days. You're welcome. It's amazing these people don't just like, what did you just do? They're just like, hey, what's up, doctor? It's like, I would be more
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial.
I bet it tastes like shit and performs like shit.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
But on the bright side, my picture is not messing up my HUD at all anymore, so...
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Does she know? I feel like I've heard yes for this question.
Have you any news?
I can't believe that people are naive enough to trust her medicine. She's just a shady nurse with good connections.
So that means her shit is...
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough. Perhaps we'll talk again.
Perhaps we will. My somewhat favorite food source. In case you're wondering why I'm saving up on my XP, I just have a strange feeling that I'm gonna need a lot of it for later actually, thankfully, skilled enough as a player, or on here, that I've been able to manage without it, without like upgrading myself all the time so far.
I cannot enter.
At least from not from this side. So I'm just saving it up until I like really need it, so I'll have extra to spend on. I get that some people want to immediately spend their XP so they can immediately become powerful really fast, but sure, you can become powerful immediately. And it's great, but then the game starts to become, I should say, boring, because you're so overpowered that you're just killing everything easily. There's no challenge, there's no anything, so I prefer a challenge when I play games. I don't like things to go easy peasy. I want like...
It's locked.
Like when I fought that swamp beast, or that sewer beast, whenever I was level 5 and it was level 9. That was a challenge, and I really enjoyed it. It actually made me think. Saved my life. Actually made me think, like, okay, use the stake to knock up some stun points on it, so I can keep on grabbing it and refilling my blood, at least to a certain point where I can activate my autophagy skill. That is a challenge. Ooh, we are circle fighter. Come on. I know you won't. And we're topped off on health. Amazing. Blood splatter, blood splatter, blood everywhere in there. I heard that over there. I'm just wondering, like, where these last two people are. Because who knows if they need treatment. A large beast. Should we? You know what? Why not? Enter stealth. But yeah, things like that. I like challenges. When a game gets too easy, that's when I start to get bored, and I do not like getting bored. Believe you me. people in their
Cheap
social
price,
circle
good
are
quality.
usually
Come on,
right
take
there
a look. Don't be afraid.
with them, at least in the area. So Loretta's
Imprisoned by your daily routine,
social
unable
circle
to
must
see
be
the true horror around you.
So pale, my lord. Would you like me to...
I don't want anything you're selling. The Jehovah's Witness people will try anything now. Ooh, Fortnite installed. Awesome. Well, the update file did. I actually really enjoy Fortnite. Now that's challenging enough. You just can't become OP on it unless you develop mad skills. And we're back here. The trail seems to go this way. No, it just looks like a large battle took place here. Which is good, we're making progress. We just have to keep our eyes and ears open for the mysterious person. So we gotta go find Loretta. Because if you think about it, the Petersons and Barrett are in their circle. He's by himself. Christina Popa might be here, but Clayton Darby is nearby. And Clayton's somewhere up there. No. He's in the area, that much I know.
It's locked, all right.
I'm surprised. He might be a vampire, but he doesn't use his vampiric strength to do so. If I was a vampire, I'd already took the door handle off and just got him that way. Right in there.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
I'm actually in a need for a shotgun.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you?
Well, no, shit.
Right then. Show me what you have.
What do you have? Oh, shit. I actually do need some of them in order to make my steak a little better. So, we're gonna sell him. Wow, oh shit. Yeah, but the thing is, do you really want to sell these? Because I mean, think about it. This is average, and that sounds good, but that I mean, think about it. All the junk that you have, you can salvage it into usable materials in order to make more treatments or serums or what have you. So you really gotta think. Do you want the extra money or shillings as the English currency, or do you want more crafting materials so you can craft more stuff, like more usable stuff, like serums? And these guys were just like right outside, like serums and other concoctions, even treatments. The game makes you think, especially about the moral choices. The moral choices are spot on. I really enjoy it.
The cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money. When science failed you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Is there anywhere where I have not been in Whitechapel? You know what? I'll go back to it. There's plenty of other stuff. There's plenty of time to do it. And the other ones, I'm not even.
I cannot enter.
Hell, I'm still in Act 1. I'm on Chapter 3. So, plenty of time to go and find these other two people. Who knows? We might find them as we're doing the main mission. And speaking of.
I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable.
Hate it or love it, it does you good. To always have a full blood meter before you go into any battle. So, any rat that I see, and I need a little extra blood topped off, I will go further than rats. Sure, it might be disgusting. Just think that you're feeding on the blood of a diseased, possibly diseased rat. But at the same time, having a full blood meter could mean all the difference. Because then you can activate good skills like your autophagy skills to heal you in those critical moments. It's always good to search around. Oh, I guess I'll beat hold the phone now. Let's wait till we get around 3,000. Once we hit 3,000, then we can, of course, that requires 2
I can't believe I'm doing this. This is despicable.
one more should be enough.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
It's not a hideout, but it's not bad. That's feasible. Trying to quiet that down so you guys don't have to hear that right in your ears. Is healthy. Or is everybody investigation-wise finished here? I do believe so. Yes, they are. Well, that's... yeah. Time to go to the docks. After I talk to this guy.
Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir. How long's it going to take to fix me properly? A month? A year? You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when...
You know what? I'm gonna go confront that one dude. Freaking... what's his damn name? Yeah, that guy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
I bet it is.
How dare you steal from the dead, Rakesh? Is that what your pawnbrokers is really about? These people are dead, sir. What they possessed could be useful for the living. And I'm sure they would agree if they could speak.
Show respect, damn it.
You should show respect for the dead. What about their loved ones who may treasure these items you sell?
The bodies I watch over are the unwanted and undesired, sir. I would never deprive anyone of their family artifacts.
No, you could just sell it.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and...
Wow. Damn, I can get... you know what? I stole your opium, bitch. How you feel about that?
Tomorrow, more bodies will arrive and then sadly depart.
So this girl go.
Good evening, Nurse Brannick.
Good evening, Doctor.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No,
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but... well, maybe it was him.
Thank you, that's all I need.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
But Sean Hampton was the guy that we brought here because he got attacked by...
Disgust.
Oh yeah, that William dude. Because William was a skull. Well, here's the unknown dude. Gee, I told y'all we meet him on our travels.
God protect us.
McCollum.
You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan.
Look, do you think you are? Big ears.
This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned.
Just had to throw in the carpet cleaning.
By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What, you got a vampire hunter on your front doorstep?
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
Confidence can be restored. No one will notice a few more bodies. What the fuck?
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Not your only hope again.
Very well. I'll help you.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
I do, dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
They're not far away.
Rest assured, I will protect you and your staff.
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this. Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Hey, we're actually going to the docks anyways. So, since that discovery, we're going to go ahead to our little room, or office. And, make some more concoctions. And 2 more tiny common handle parts. For that one, if we're drawing, we can actually make it now. And shabushi! That's that blood. Definitely. Damn. More damage. No. Blood all the way. I can. And shabushki. Increase firepower. Or decrease reload time. That will do. That'll do the fire one. But that'll be the firepower. So increase reload time. And for my secondary weapon, I shall use the hacksaw. Treatments. Neuralgia, no migraine, bronchitis. Yeah, that's a good idea. At least that's more common. Okay, I think we have enough treatments to at least help a few people. And no, that's not my OK Cupid thing going off. That's a friend of mine texting me. Don't worry guys, my attention is still focused on you. All 95% of it. I cannot guarantee 100. Why? Because I have a cheeky phone. And as soon as that phone lights up, I flick. Just like that.
When I get back, I'll have a word with him. He's really pissed me off.
This has turned out to be quite even. I'll only use hacksaw whenever I need some quick hits.
Fear no evil! We do the Lord's work here!
By the way, I've decided to get my future. Damn! 10 screws and 10 grooves. That's amazing. Sorry, I just had to go down there. Your blood will serve you well.
Lead fight! That's gone!
Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm busy here?
Dr. Jonathan Reed, that's who I am. And who are you?
Ah, some fancy gentleman we've got here. Clear off. We don't want strangers on our streets.
So you won't tell me your name, then?
The name is Booth Digby. Maybe I'll ask my boys to break one or two of your bones, just so you remember it.
Really? He's healthy.
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
So you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby. Greedy little cockroaches who feed on despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
Which is a fancy way of saying he's a
So, tell me about your gang, then.
What? Have you got a death wish? You really want me to answer that?
Well, yes. You seem so proud of your status. Why not tell me who you're working for?
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The Wet Boot Boys work for me. All of them. Situation round here is better than other districts because of us. Because of me.
Do you know where I can find Sean Hampton? I need to talk to him.
The sad saint. Why on earth do you want to talk to him?
He was one of my patients at the Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, yeah. I heard the poor bastard had been abducted by some cunt. You better ask Tom Watts. He knows Sean Hampton well.
Thank you. You're just
Goodbye,
Mr. Appreciated.
Pleasure, sir. Been a while since we've seen any new faces round here.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. May I ask you a few questions?
Who are you? What do you want?
As I just told you, I'm a doctor.
Ask a few questions.
From the Pembroke Hospital.
Are you deaf?
The Pembroke Hospital, you say? I ain't paying any bill left by Clay.
I'm not here to collect payment, miss.
Miss Edwina Cox. So what do you want then? Fancy buying something from me, maybe?
No, I want to talk to you. You know.
Can I see what you have to sell?
As long as you have money, I'll show you all I have.
She has the final two. Well, she just has two I need. I'm not using any shotgun shells, but let's see. So about 14. Here, so about 5. Okay, that's enough. Sure we go. And now for the information.
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. What do you want?
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
The sad saint? I heard he was mugged or something.
Yes, he was. But he left hospital recently.
You don't say. Well, I suppose it's good news for the homeless and the useless. Ask them, they must know something.
Goodbye, Miss Cox.
But a lot of people are healthy. That's amazing. And despite this being a poor
This is despicable.
a poor kind of town, as I was going to say. You know, it really helps. It really says something.
These murders are the work of a vampire.
A vampire? Whatever do you mean?
Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
You best be off to your hunting then. For if the sewer dog is back, and hunting all these poor folk, he needs a catching.
A sewer dog? What's it look like?
It's an old story. A monster with daggers for teeth and icy claws. He comes of a sudden, nighttime, claiming innocence, then vanishes.
Teeth? Claws? Murders by night? Your sewer dog is my business. He's the kind of prey I hunt, milady. Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Poor boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
So, how exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me, Mr. Throgmorton?
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum at this hour. But I cannot tell you how to find it, sorry.
Really? Why is that?
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe Sean is a saint, don't you?
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he was a child, he was molested. By a priest of all people. Funny thing is, though, it only strengthened his faith.
Maybe at least you can tell me who could help me find him.
Tell you what, go and chat with Tom Watts. He's a bartender and good judge of character. If he talks to you, then it's fine by me.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
At least he's the only one.
It's locked.
It's there! Finish it. Let's pin it down! Fight for these! It's head! leech! Kill him! I'll tell you! Get back in the grave! I'll send you to hell. I'll tell you!
I cannot enter. I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable. I have this thirst for blood. It's locked, all right.
I cannot enter.
Good evening, sir.
Whatever.
Don't you recognize me? We met a few nights ago.
Don't take it personally. I spent a lot of energy forgetting what I did the night before.
Yes, you had definitely drunk too much then as well. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Jason Delaney. I'll try to remember you. This time.
Inebriation aside, do you need medical help?
Yes. I feel sicker than usual these days.
Take this, then. And perhaps you could try to slow down the alcohol intake, too.
Hey, Doc, you don't really want me to stop the only remedy I can afford.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney. Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, sir. How are you tonight? Back to the docks, are we?
You remember me, then?
Of course I do. You're that man who seemed so lost when he entered my bar a few nights ago.
Thank you for your hospitality. I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
Sabrina seems very fond of you, Tom.
I like her too. I really do. I know I'm her boss, and I'm much older and all. But I like her, for sure.
What is bothering you, then?
Sabrina is an angry one. She wears it like a coat. I'm not sure I can make her shed that anger. It hurts to see her like that.
Tom, I need to find Sean Hampton as quickly as possible. I've been told you could help me.
I heard the sad saint was recovering at Pembroke Hospital. Did he leave or something?
I believe he returned to his flock. Can you confirm that?
Oh, I bet you're right. Sean can't help but worry about the poor and sick. Oh, I guess it has something to do with what happened to him as a baby.
Please, tell me.
Well, I don't like to gossip, but I heard that the sad saint was abandoned as a baby in front of a Catholic orphanage in Dublin. Well, would explain his faith and need to help everyone.
The important thing is I find him, quickly.
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a meal or a roof there.
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
I think drink no longer stirs.
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely to cause.
Pleasure, sir.
while since we've seen any new faces.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just being polite. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you some questions, if I may.
Don't like questions. Or doctors. And the name is Seymour Fishburne, if you must know.
Do you require medical assistance?
That's something I didn't expect to hear again. A doctor concerned with the health of his patients. Yeah. I could use some help. On several matters, in fact.
I don't know which kind of doctor you're used to dealing with, but it's a doctor's purpose to heal people.
And is it your purpose as well, Mr. Reed? I would say it's a convenient way for gaining people's trust.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne. Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's a first. I feel like a real person.
A real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough?
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
This city has abandoned so many of its children. It's tragic.
I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care. Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in? I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. It's been nothing but worry. So you have questions about the flu, then?
Yes, among other things.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
The orphan that regards you as a mother. Please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter, and no one will bat an eye.
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know, but it's most likely linked to the gangs if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum, in exchange for food.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no, my Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
How do you pay the rent, then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
It's locked.
Gentlemen are easy targets in these parts.
Probably not. Nope. Oh my gosh.
Another disgusting gold, is it, don't you think?
Seems like the guard of Prewen is on Sean Hampton's trail.
Die, beast! Get a taste of this! Killing's all yours. Filthy fucking pig! Die, Verdi! Die, beast! Crush the leech, boys! Want some of this? Die, Verdi! Killing's all you deserve. Die, Crush the leech! Die! Die, Verdi! Yo! Get back in the grave! Nonsense! Verdi, boys! What?
The wounds on this corpse are deep, the result of rabid rage. If this is Sean's doing, he's become a murderous beast.
Back in the grind here.
What have we here? Look your horse, Governor, or are you just out of your mind?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. May I have your attention for a minute?
Good evening, sir. My name is Giselle Paxton, but I don't have time for men like you.
Have we met before?
No, but I just need to look at your fancy clothes to know that you must be desperate to visit the docks at night.
That's quite judgmental of you.
Sir, I've led enough strikes when I had a job to identify you as an enemy of the working class.
You speak of strikes and class enemy. Am I right to assume you're involved in trade union activism?
You bet I am. Well, I was. Nowadays, I'm just another worker blacklisted by the big companies.
You lost your job because of your beliefs.
Those bastards really hate a worker who refuses slave wages and unsafe conditions, especially when it's a woman.
Isn't the whole point of trade unions to help workers in need? Why don't they support you?
A few nights back, I lost the money my companions had asked me to hide. With me and my sister being penniless, they thought I stole it.
What really happened?
I drank too much that night. Strange men saw me count the money in that bar. Some sort of militia in uniform. I'm sure they robbed me.
May I ask what you do for a living?
I'm killing myself scraping for a living. And you? Have you ever had to struggle in your entire life?
As I told you, I'm a doctor. You have to work a lot to earn that title.
Oh, a doctor. Born with money in a nice house, were we? Was Daddy a banker or a doctor himself?
Why such hatred? Are you judging me by my clothes and my job?
Course I am. Fuck, you're so blind. You don't even see your privilege. Lazy people like you disgust me.
What can you tell me about this vicinity?
Tell you what, just spend a few weeks here, and then ask me that question again. If you're still alive, I mean.
If you have something to say, say it. I'm getting tired of all this.
Oh. You want information instead? Well, here's some for you. Giselle Paxton does not like you at all, Doctor.
You don't know me, Miss Paxton, and yet you see me as an enemy.
Your manners, your clothes, your words tell me everything about you, sir. I know your kind, and you don't belong here.
You're right. I have never suffered from poverty. But that doesn't mean I don't fight it and its consequences.
I really doubt you ever had to fight for anything in your life, Dr. Reed.
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Best be moving on. Over there!
This could be the public house Giselle Paxton mentioned. I should investigate further. Giselle's stolen money. Priwen has some unethical ways of financing their war.
You again? What do you want?
I've identified the men who stole from you. You were right. They were members of some self-proclaimed militia.
I knew it! Did you find the money, too?
Yes. Here it is. They thought they could finance their activities with it.
I never thought a man like you would be kind enough to... I misjudged you. Badly. Well, thank you, sir.
Will you give the money back to your comrades, then?
Fuck those bastards who fired me. I'll give the money to Miss Gillingham. Her son Jack was a friend of mine. He was killed recently.
I know you were friends with Miss Gillingham's son, Jack. Tell me about his death.
Jack's murder has been a shock to the neighborhood. A sign that the situation is now out of control.
Why is that?
There has always been tension between the Wet Boot Boys and members of the trade union. But a murder? That's a first.
Who killed him?
No one will ever know. One thing is certain. While Jack was alive, I had one less reason to drink.
Why does that upset you so much?
I wish I had found the time and words to tell him how important he was to me before it was too late. Another failure for Giselle Paxton.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me?
What is it you want? Does he owe...
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
What have we here? Lost your horse, Governor? Or are you just out of your mind?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Can I help you?
A fancy doctor lurking at night by the docks? Not fishy at all.
And what about you? Working outside at night in this dangerous part of town?
You want to know my secret? I'm trying to earn money. And I'm Lottie Paxton, by the way.
Is it not dangerous to work here at night?
As long as I have good legs, I can run away from trouble. The Sad Saint now provides me and my sister a bed and a roof. I don't want to lose that.
Are you homeless, Miss Paxton?
Mr. Hampton's night asylum is our new home now. It's a safe place for me and my sister.
What can you tell me about the Sad Saint?
It's just the nickname of Sean Hampton, the Sad Saint of the East End. He gave me shelter, and he's not always sad.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Before bed.
It's locked, all right.
Glad to see you again, Mr. Reed.
Lottie, tell me about the death of your mother.
Giselle killed her. Plain and simple. She killed her with her daily whims, her laziness, and her complaints.
That's quite a statement. You can't kill someone because you're fickle.
Mother was very ill, but I forgave Giselle. What I couldn't stand was how she cried at her funeral like she was the one left alone.
Perhaps your sister is not as tough as you are.
I know that, and I don't blame her. It just makes me sad that my own sister is the person I understand the least.
Giselle is the only family you have left. Don't you think it's time you forgave her?
Sometimes words are harder to forgive than acts, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about this place? How are things here?
It may be okay for a strong girl like me, but a dandy doctor from the city like yourself, you better watch your back, Mr. Reed.
You really think I should go back to a safer place, miss?
No. I think you had better stay and help as many people as you can. Just avoid the wet boot boys. Those bastards are worse than the epidemic.
Which local dangers must I avoid?
Well, the gangs, the thieves, the drunks, the jobless. A man with your fancy clothes will attract a lot of attention.
Well, I am not someone so easily intimidated.
Glad to hear that. And if you get into trouble, you can always seek help at Shaunhampton's shelter. No one would dare to be violent there.
I'm looking for Shaunhampton. Can you help me?
Mr. Hampton must be in his office at the night asylum he manages, I suppose. Why do you want to see him?
He was a patient of mine at the Pembroke Hospital, but he left abruptly.
I see. Well, Mr. Hampton is a discreet and dedicated man. I'm sure you'll find him soon enough.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
I hope Giselle will pull through.
What have we here? Lost your horse, Governor? Off your mind.
Come now, Lottie. There's still much work to do.
Why the long face, Doctor?
I can see it in your face.
It looks like we both have changed a lot. I must confess, it saddens me, Sean.
Put your faith in the Lord, Doctor. He has a plan for all of us. We may not always see it, but he does.
Since you left Pembroke, the amount of blood that has been shed, it's hard to believe you, Sean.
Ask what you will. As the Lord is my shepherd, I will not speak a lie to you.
Why return here?
This is my home. These people are my flock. You will always find me where I am needed.
Wonders never cease. Scal managing an asylum.
And what of you? A vampire doctor? Meals laid out before you. Yet you restrain.
And what about William Bishop? He tried to take care of you. But this hunger, this thirst, cannot be restrained.
Alas, poor William. He had a good soul, but was weak in spirit. He could not shake the thirst for booze, never mind blood. But have faith. My will is far stronger than his.
Aren't you afraid of what you've become?
We are blessed, Doctor. Can't you see it? The Lord has made us able to walk amongst the plague and aid those that need it.
You think this is a blessing when God's own house and holy symbols repel you?
If that is your burden, Doctor, so be it. But I do not fear the cross, nor am I forced to take the life of another. My kind doesn't share your imperfections.
But you must drink blood now to survive.
No, not your scripture. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. So saith the Lord. I only need to eat flesh, no blood.
Why did you kill Miss Jones at the Pembroke Hospital?
Killed old Harriet? You must be mad, Doctor. Why would I do such a thing?
But you were close to her.
Of course. But she was lost, separated from the fold. She did not see the hand of the divine in my blessed condition.
So you claim Miss Jones' death was not by your hand, nor the other incidents at Pembroke?
Though Harriet was an angry, spiteful woman, she was one of God's creatures. I have nothing but love for all he has made.
People have been murdered. I've seen the blood. I don't believe you can be trusted.
Have a little faith, Doctor. If you will follow, I will guide you to the light.
How do you plan to do that?
Take this key of the old sewers. The entrance is by the riverbank, south from here. There you'll find all the proof you need.
Very well. You have definitely intrigued me. I hope you're right, Sean.
I'll be here when you return. If you still think I'm a threat then, well, I surrender myself to your judgment.
Good evening, Mr. Throgmorton.
Dr. Reed.
I'm afraid you're...
It cost me good money to print those...
Did you really think that...
See the sad saint of the...
Goodbye. And good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton.
To each man his duty. Ours is to flush every hole with our rat to be hiding. Think someone serious about keeping people out. First place to go.
Die, vermin! murderous bastard! Stay back, beast!
It's locked. So that's it. These wheels control the water level. That gate should shut properly now.
Come on.